Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego will join us to talk about the city's plans to handle ICE enforcement and other issues. Also tonight, new research links night owls' sleeping habits to poor heart health. And we'll hear about an online class to help caregivers of those with dementia. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The city of Phoenix is drafting what it calls a transparency plan to protect the civil rights of residents during immigration and customs enforcement crackdowns. For more on that and other issues facing the city, we spoke earlier today with Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego. Mayor Gallego, good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me back, and happy anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. Let's talk about, there's a variety of things to talk about. We have only a certain amount of time, but I did want to get to the ICE transparency plan that the city is still in the draft process.
Yes, we just started our community conversations.
Okay, what are the ideas here? What's the plan? What's the goal as far as dealing with federal immigration authorities and enforcement activities?
So we're deeply concerned about what we're seeing from federal law enforcement. We're concerned they don't have sufficient training and that there are very real civil rights abuses. So we want to make sure we learn from other cities as well as what's happening in our community, and that we're ready to respond and keep the community as safe as possible.
I see a responsibility to provide residents with access to accurate information. How would you go about doing that?
So part of it is knowing your rights and transparency in that area. We're also seeing a lot of changes in the federal immigration system, and we want to make sure our businesses understand that. For example, the visa system has changed significantly, and some of our individuals who came to this community as refugees are finding their employers are confused about who's employable and what's required. The city of Phoenix, at places like the airport, have become a major employer of refugees. If you have a fresh meal on your plane, it's very possible a refugee helped put that food together or helped make sure there were cold drinks on the plane. But as the federal government has changed green card rules and visa requirements, there's a lot of uncertainty with our employers, and we want to make sure we do our part to help people who want jobs get them, and employers who want to keep them employed understand those processes.
So documentation would be a biggie there, correct?
Yes, that's the same challenges we're having with our tribal community members. In Arizona, a tribal ID is a really important form of ID, and we're seeing big challenges with the federal government not always understanding it. They maybe are not training the people who are out in our community. We have seen Arizona residents who have been here much longer than their families, have challenges with tribal ID, and so we want to do our part, again, in that area to keep folks safe. Supportive
resources was also mentioned?
Right. So we want to help people in our community understand what resources are available. We've heard from businesses when federal law enforcement stages at their business that they see a huge decline in customers. So we're working with groups like the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to help answer questions for our business owners. We're also hearing from residents who live, for example, near the ICE facility off Central. Federal agents have been using chemical sprays more often when protesters are there, and sometimes those chemicals are getting into people's homes. So imagine that you're sitting at dinner at your house, and all of a sudden maybe pepper spray wafts in. What are your rights, and how can we help you and make sure that we do our part to keep our residents safe?
What is the city's part aside from getting information out?
Well, part of it is we've never needed to document how often our firefighters went to provide medical aid to people who'd been sprayed with chemicals before, but that is now happening more often with federal agents. We had a deeply disturbing situation at one of the Zips restaurant.
Right.
Many people in our community exercised their First Amendment rights and wanted to show concern. At 32nd and Shea, there was deeply disturbing footage where it sure looked to me like federal agents sprayed people who were not impeding them in any way, who were standing on a sidewalk. The federal agents were in a vehicle, and they sprayed them with these chemical sprays. To me, that's assault. So we were able to, as soon as I saw the social media footage, I shared it with our police chief. He agreed it looked very problematic, and we reached out to the person who had posted to try to get all the information we have and document it. Then we contacted Homeland Security Investigations, and we recommended they do an investigation about civil rights violations. They are doing that.
Last question on this. Is police, is law enforcement on board with this? And if so, how much?
So our focus is on crime in our community. We want to make sure you and your family are as safe as possible. We are not in charge of things like immigration. That is the federal government's responsibility. So we really focus on doing our jobs and protecting the city. Should there be a disturbance where there's violence or lack of safety, then we can try to come in and keep people safe. But we let federal immigration do their big operations, and that is not where we need to be.
For those who say that the drafting this plan and the plan so far as they've seen it is not proactive enough, you say?
Look, people are afraid right now. I get that. I have an ability to help, and I'm trying very hard to do that. We are trying to learn as much as possible from other cities. The mayors of places, including Minneapolis, Portland, and Los Angeles, have been wonderful about advising me. My chief of staff was able to go to Minneapolis and meet with their team there and learn as much as possible. We want to know what's worked in other communities. We also want to look at Phoenix-specific solutions. We really are going to do our part. There's certain things that are best left to other branches of government, but in terms of local community safety, working with businesses and communities, I think there's a lot we can do to be part of the solution.
You know, we haven't had a chance to talk since the city changed the expansion, the light rail expansion from down to the Capitol to on Indian School Road. Why was that necessary? Why is that a good thing for Phoenix? Because a lot of businesses on Indian School aren't happy about it. And some folks think that, you know, that they voted on that first plan, but the first plan is now gone. What's going on here?
So we went to the voters with a plan that goes through 2050. We had multiple extensions going to the west. We have our highest ridership in areas like Thomas and Indian School Road. There's also a lot of people living in that area. So we changed the order of priority, and we'll be building first in areas with higher ridership. We heard from high school students at Maryville who said, when are you coming west? Because the light rail goes south, east, and north, but we have not gone into the Maryville community. The Indian School extension gives us the ability to go right in the heart of Indian School, and I'm really excited about the residents and the benefits. We have seen billions of dollars of economic development along the light rail, and Maryville was feeling left out. The other extension, which is still very much on the map, but will come later, goes right through the middle of I-10. So you don't see the economic development benefits because the freeway isn't going to turn into housing. We need I-10 to continue. We'll be able to do that extension after we've done what's called a reliever for I-10, State Route 30. So it's a freeway that'll go parallel to I-10 and take some of the traffic off. I-10 is incredibly busy, and people were pretty concerned that if we shut it down for construction, the effects would be cascading. But if we have already done State Route 30 and completed that, the traffic impacts won't be as bad, and we can also get those great economic development benefits for
federal funding, though, was on that original site, correct? That was there for the original. Is the federal funding going to be for the Indian School site, or is that basically go it alone? How's that working?
So we had not yet received a final grant agreement from the Trump administration. I think there were some pretty significant political concerns. The Speaker of the State House and the Senate President, as well as their caucus, were deeply opposed to that, and we saw some real political concerns right now. So I think we might see broader support in some of the other places we'll be building light rail first.
Interesting. Hey, before you go, I understand you took a plane flight to Taipei, Taiwan, and you're not going to be the only, a nonstop flight from Phoenix to Taiwan? Why? I see the semiconductors, but is there enough want for a nonstop from Phoenix to Taipei?
So you and I have been talking about new flights for at least a decade. I have been really frustrated that Phoenix was the largest city without nonstop service to anywhere in Asia, and it's something I've been working on for so long. I've had so many meetings with airlines. My actual first international trip as mayor was to try to get semiconductors and these nonstop flights, and I'm pleased that we now have not one but two carriers serving nonstop between the city of Phoenix and Taipei. So we're getting more global attention. We're more globally connected. It used to frustrate me when people would say, oh, just go through LA. You're like a satellite of theirs. We're the 5th largest city in the country, and it's about time.
And we got the plant out there, this isn't just passengers filling seats. This is also cargo going back and forth, correct?
Yes, semiconductors is an incredibly important global industry, and we will be able to fill the bottoms of those planes with very high-wage products. We'll also be able to create more jobs here if we have a better supply chain. Right now, so many of the semiconductor products had to fly into California and ship and go by truck to Phoenix, which is slow, inefficient, and sometimes ran into real challenges. So we'll be able to create more jobs locally thanks to this connectivity.
So between the two, how many flights to Taipei nonstop per week from Phoenix?
So we now have coverage 6 days a week, and even before we got this service, we were seeing dramatic growth in flights between Phoenix and Asia. So overall, up 26%. But here's a staggering number. In 2025, most of the time we had no flights to Taiwan, but air service was still up 148%.
My goodness.
We are connected.
Yeah, we're all sorts of things here. How long a flight is this?
So it can be quite a long flight, up to 13 hours.
13 hours.
Yep.
Did you get up and move around a little bit and make sure?
And I got to tell you, Asian Airlines have some very good food.
All right, very good. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, always a pleasure. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
For over 65 years, AARP has empowered people to choose how they live as they age. As a wise friend and fierce defender, we advocate for better health, financial security, and stronger communities. We are AARP.
A new study looking at the link between sleep habits and heart disease finds, among other things, that night owls, those that stay up late, tend to have a greater risk of cardiovascular health issues. Joining us now with more on this is Dr. Leo Odle. He's a primary care physician. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So this new research in general links heart health and sleep health, or is this specifically for night owls?
It's linking night owls who have poor sleep habits to heart health.
Can you be a night owl with good sleep habits?
You can, but it's a lot of work, and being a night owl doesn't necessarily lend itself to having healthy habits.
How would you define a night owl?
A night owl is a person who is more active in the evening and at nighttime and less active in the morning. They tend to stay up later than other people.
Yeah, and that just by itself is a risk factor, you think?
It is associated with poor sleep, and poor sleep is associated with high blood pressure, which is associated with heart disease.
And you also mentioned is associated with poor habits.
Poor habits.
During the day.
During the day.
Yeah.
So when you get off work late at night, you're hitting fast food instead of having a more healthy meal. You are not exercising regularly.
Does it matter if you're a night owl and you still get 8 hours of sleep?
There is some independent association. It's a weaker correlation, but it does matter if you are still a night owl and getting good sleep and doing everything right, because your circadian rhythms are not exactly the same.
Talk about the circadian rhythms, and again, the idea that your body knows it's light outside even if where you're sleeping is pitch dark.
Yeah, we need light and to function with our circadian rhythms, and the cortisol levels in your body go up and down throughout the day. And those cortisol levels can affect how sticky red blood cells are and make it more likely to have heart attacks at different times of the day if you're out of sync.
Yeah. Does it matter if maybe you get a nap during the day? Maybe you get 6 hours or so at night?
So, I really can't answer that because the study didn't address that specifically. Okay. But trying to get those, 7 to 8 hours sleep is really important during the day.
Yeah, and interruptions can't be a good thing either.
Interruptions cannot be a good thing for REM sleep, no.
Yeah. Was I correct in this study? Did it show an impact, especially among young women?
Women especially. Women have a lot of pressure on them. They're doing everything from working and taking care of family. Mothers work very hard. A lot of them do shift work and nursing and so forth. And when they get off work late at night, they might not make the best choices. They might not be ready to go exercise and do those things that they need to do.
Back to circadian rhythms and young women and everyone here. Getting up early is a good thing for heart health because of the light, because your body is basically saying, bring on the day?
That's how we're designed to be. Our circadian rhythms are heavily influenced by light exposure.
And especially early on.
Early on in the day.
What about light exposure late at night?
So light exposure late at night, especially artificial light that's got a lot of blue light, like a computer screen, like an iPad, like an iPhone, can be very disruptive to sleep.
Are some of these heart health concerns, are they reversible? Can you be a night owl and all of a sudden start getting up early in the morning?
Absolutely. There are, 4 big things that you can control with heart health, and exercise, eating habits, your sleep, and nicotine exposure. People who are night owls tend to have a higher incidence of nicotine use.
Really? So, but they just stay up late smoking?
They use nicotine as a stimulant to stay up late.
Oh my goodness. Other stimulants used to stay up late?
Well, if you're an excessive caffeine junkie. I love caffeine. It's one of my weaknesses. But if you don't want to drink that when you're trying to go to bed.
Right, right. Well, give us some good sleep habits. I mean, getting enough natural light earlier in the day, we talked about that. That's a big deal.
Getting enough natural light, setting a schedule for yourself, going to bed about the same time every day, getting up at the same time every day, not eating late at night, just keeping away from sugary foods and alcohol near bedtime.
What about sugary foods and alcohol not near bedtime?
Limit those anyhow, but
Yes.
try and keep those away from bedtime, a good 4 hours away from bedtime.
As far as exercise is concerned, is it best to go first thing in the morning?
Studies have shown early morning exercise is more beneficial to you than evening exercise.
But that evening exercise is still beneficial.
It is, but you get more bang for your buck by doing it in the morning.
The artificial light aspect, artificial light in the daytime, artificial light early evening, still a problem?
It is. I do encourage people, if you work in an office all day, at lunch, go outside and get some sunlight, get some natural sunlight. It's good for your soul.
Yeah, and you mentioned eating and drinking. Just in general, how long before bedtime should you knock it off?
You try and avoid overeating and drinking about 4 hours before bedtime. No stimulants either.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. What if you need like a glass of milk to help you get to sleep?
Totally get a glass of milk. Get a glass of milk, that's fine.
Okay, that's all right.
Yes.
Okay. And I noticed, maybe I'm wrong here, but keeping your bedroom cool?
Cool and dark.
Cool and quiet, obviously.
Yes.
But cool and dark and quiet.
Yes. Cool. You sleep better in a cooler room. People think they sleep better in a warmer room. They're trying to be warm and cozy. Studies don't show that. Put the blankets on and make the room cool.
And this all, again, we're kind of talking about heart health and sleep health here. When people are having heart issues, do they come on earlier in life if these sorts of things, these sleep habits are not very good?
That is what we're talking about here. Having premature heart attacks. A person who has a heart attack at 100 is very different than a person who has a heart attack at 46.
Yeah, and you can't say you can control this, but to a certain extent you can decrease the risk factor.
You have a large influence over these things. You really do, with your lifestyle choices and controlling your cholesterol and your blood sugar and your blood pressure. You need a provider to help you do some of those things, controlling your weight, but you can influence heart disease greatly.
And poor cardiovascular health, as you mentioned, defined as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, these sorts of things.
Yes.
So the biggest thing you could tell someone right now who's listening to this and saying, oh, brother.
So there's things you can do today. You can go home today and you can start exercising. You can make good dietary choices. You can make sure you're going to get good sleep. And you can avoid nicotine and stimulants.
Yeah. Dr. Leo Odle, again, primary care physician, talking about this research linking sleep and heart health. Good information. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the past 4 consecutive years, jazz vocalist Samara Joy has won 6 Grammy Awards. And now she's raising the roof with her octet and the BBC Concert Orchestra at Royal Albert Hall. Enjoy great jazz with Joy.
When a man's lips are warm, you better clean cool.
when Great Performances presents the amazing Samara Joy at Royal Albert Hall.
Friday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
For centuries, Arizona has been a magnet for treasure hunters. So what is geocaching? From the early prospectors chasing the glint of gold to today's geocachers navigating with satellites and smartphones, people have scoured the land hoping to uncover something hidden. No matter what you're searching for, though, hiking Arizona's trails is a treasure all its own. Watch Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Arizona PBS.
There's a new online class designed to help caregivers with people with dementia. It's called Hearts for Dementia, and we learn more about the program tonight as part of our monthly AARP-sponsored segment that highlights issues important to older adults in Arizona. Lolita Trammell is a nurse practitioner and the founder of Hearts for Dementia, and she joins us now. Welcome to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me today.
So, Dementia Caregiving, a guide to survive and thrive. What are we talking about here?
This is an amazing course. I took care of my own mother who had Alzheimer's disease, and it was a really difficult struggle for me. And I realized through all of my struggles, we had a really contentious relationship at one point. I realized the need for practical tools to support caregivers. If you have education, you can feel supported, you can feel prepared to tackle any of the challenges that you may face when caring for somebody with dementia.
So you got this online course now for those caring with dementia, and there's like a dementia master course involved.
Yes.
What's that?
It is a dementia master course. It is evidence-based. I completed my doctorate at Yale University. I spent 3 years there, focused on research to help people with behaviors and to understand dementia behaviors. So the course truly focuses on helping people who are struggling with behaviors like maybe repetitive questions or hallucinations. Some people with dementia may think somebody's in their home, or they're struggling with paranoid delusions, thinking their loved one is having an affair, or even think people may be stealing the item. So I have a step-by-step process that I teach to help people navigate through these things.
And it's a self-paced class, correct? So it's up to you to get what you need, and if you need something more here, it's okay to slow down.
That's right. It's self-paced. It's completely online. You can watch it at your leisure. Caregivers are very busy. They are running here, running there, and so you can just watch this at nighttime for 15 to 30 minutes if you need to.
Mental health services, therapy sessions, these things are involved as well?
So that's a service that we offer at Hearts for Dementia. We support caregivers struggling with mental health as well as people with dementia.
I was going to say caregivers can struggle with mental health, can't they? It's tough.
It is, and we have a component in our course that addresses mental health, and we'll teach strategies to help with things like paranoia and delusions.
And also teach strategies, I would imagine, with things like burnout for the caregivers.
Oh yes, we have a whole segment on that, on self-care. It's so important that caregivers care for themselves. I have a huge emphasis on that in one of the modules within the course.
Home care services involved here as well?
So we have home care. Hearts for Dementia, our organization in itself, has home care that specializes in supporting people with dementia. Our staff are trained in helping with this.
And this 24-hour care.
Yes, people can have up to 24-hour care if they need it.
And cognitive testing, you can learn how to do cognitive testing, or is the cognitive testing on you?
Yeah, so a patient can come in. So if they're interested in having cognitive testing, I actually complete that test for them.
Really? How long a process is that?
It's not long. It's a pretty short process.
Obviously, you got your doctorate at Yale, so I think you know what you're talking about here. But who else is involved with the program, and where do these people come from? What are their qualifications?
Well, if you're talking about Hearts for Dementia specifically, we have caregivers that go through training. A lot of what we do is a caregiving service as well. We're also contracted with Medicare to provide a guide program, which is a specialized program that can support people living with dementia and their caregivers. But in terms of the course, I teach the course all through the art of storytelling online.
Oh, storytelling.
Yes.
Give me an example.
Oh my gosh, there's stories of my mom on there, little situations that I had with her that I had to face. There was a time I remember, by the way, today is my mother's birthday.
Oh.
She would have been 80 today. She passed away. And so I remember vividly one day it was late at night and she walked right into the kitchen at nighttime and said, "Good morning."
Yeah.
And so my son, all of us, I had taught them how to best manage, certain strategies for my mom. My son just looked up at her and said, "Good morning, Grandma." And so I talk about these different stories in hopes to teach people these various strategies.
Interesting, because by saying good morning, Grandma, there's no conflict there, and perhaps it smooths things over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we should mention now that this is not a free course. This is something that is, what kind of pricing are we talking about here?
Yes, so the course itself is $795 to start. There are various tiers, and the price can go up depending on the tier that you select, but today, through the month of March, we're offering a 30% discount. So just save 30.
Yeah. There. Where do you learn more about this?
You can get on our website at heartsfordementia.com. Go to Dementia Master Course, and then if you decide to purchase the course, you just put save 30 there as a discount code.
Well, Lolita Trammell, congratulations. Hearts for Dementia. It sounds like a great thing. I'm sure your mom is very proud of you. Wherever she is, she can sort of look down and say, you done good.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me today.
You bet. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simon. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
When you want to be more inspired, Arizona PBS delivers unforgettable experiences in music, theater, and the arts, thanks to members like you. And
welcome to Friendship Village. Let me show you around. Wow! It's like a cruise ship on land. Do you like art, music, heated pool, yoga, pickleball? There are events and group outings for just about every interest.
The food!
There's so much to do here. Move it or lose it. Well, this is our stop.
Let's keep going! Yeah!
I'm Chef Mark Charbel. Welcome to Check Please Arizona, the show where Valley residents recommend their favorite restaurants. In this episode, we're enjoying seafood, American fare with a Latin twist, and Italian dishes.
Everybody was like looking at me like this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten.
My boyfriend had the Baja shrimp burrito, which was